Hi, Ruth Chadwick here. And I wanted to just take a minute to talk to you a little bit about the differences between traditional life coaching and transformative coaching. Most people are pretty familiar with traditional life coaching, and it involves, making goals, setting goals, breaking them down, taking the steps, the actions to get to that point. A lot of times you create your end vision and then you try to work backwards from that. And it's a very linear process. It's based on sort of traditional Western goal setting techniques. And then you have the accountability person, the coach who's there to not only keep you accountable, but also try to help you see through your obstacles and blocks and work through that as you go. Many people find it very valuable. And I've done it myself and found it valuable. What makes transformative coaching different, though, is that instead of a linear process, a more left brain, logical, analytical process, what we're doing is we're doing what we call a vertical process. And so when we get into the vertical dimension, what that means is that we're stepping outside of linear processes and linear time. And what that does is that actually opens us up to have greater insights and to be open to things we didn't really expect. You see, when we're on the linear path, a lot of times we get very attached to that linear path. In the vertical dimension, we're opening up our vision to be very wide. We're not keeping it in this sort of narrow path. We're opening it up to new insights, opportunities we wouldn't have seen coming, out of the box thinking. And what that does is it enables you to have greater shifts. In other words, you can have shifts outside of time. You don't have to take these incremental steps. I mean, we're still taking steps. We're taking action steps, but we're doing it in a more moment to moment intuitive way. And what that does again is it harnesses more power for you, more leverage. Because again, when you're a little bit attached to your set goals and the linear process, that can create a bit of a narrower focus. When you're working in the vertical dimension, you're open to getting insights from anywhere. You're you're also looking at the big picture. You don't want to miss opportunities that might be just outside of your peripheral vision, were you to just stay on the linear path. The next piece of this is related to what I'm talking about, but it's again, I'm using words to point to things. I'm using words that we all kind of understand, but there's a lot more going on than I can explain in this short video. So, but we're going to talk about it in terms of left brain versus right brain, because we all go through many states of mind during the day. And we Westerners tend to hang out more in the left side of the brain. That's how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to really orient ourselves towards analysis and reason and categorization and linear time and what we call logic, although story for another day. Logic isn't always logical. But anyway, point being, that's where Westerners tend to hang out. However, in doing so, we often miss out on all these resources that go untapped that are coming through in a more right-brained way. Now, one more thing I'd like to say about the right brain. The right brain is the source of creativity, creative solutions, those brilliant insights that just come out of nowhere. And you're like, where did that come from? Out of the blue, out of the box thinking, the ideas that you couldn't have come up with from reading a book or even from learning from other people, from other people's formulas. It's just that's not how it works. Your own brilliant solutions are going to come to you. And because in the West we have become so oriented towards living in our intellects, living in our heads, we actually often need help getting out of them. We need ways to get to this more resourceful part of us that is actually going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. It's going to do a lot of the work that we tend to try to overdo in our brains and our intellects. But not only that, the right brain is really more where we experience peace, abundance, flow states. These are all experiences being generated by the right brain. The left brain, by contrast, is often looking for problems. It's analyzing, it's trying to figure out where the problems are, and then it's getting to work solving them. But the trouble with that is that you might end up just in unending problem solving mode. Like problems keep arising because you're always looking for them. Whereas the right brain is going to be feeding you solutions and new ideas and new insights and new perspectives. So, this is just something to think about in terms of why transformative coaching is maybe the choice for you. Because let's face it, the world, especially the Western world, has been stuck in the left side of the brain for a long time. And I think it's gotten us all a bit stuck. So, if you feel stuck and you want to get unstuck and you want to feel freer, you want to feel more abundant, and you want to feel like you are creating through flow and not through force and pushing and obstacles, then perhaps transformative coaching is for you. So I could talk about this all day because it's my passion. But if you want to know more, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to schedule a consultation with you and talk through any of these understandings and see what lands for you and how it could be helpful for you.